Welcome to the weekly MindSweep number 196, Manage Your Mind, Self-Worth. The brain science of enough, rewiring the pattern of doing to deserve. If I'm not doing, I'm not worthy. That sentence has lived somewhere inside my body for as long as I can remember. I don't always say it out loud, but I feel it every time I catch myself reaching for my phone during dinner. Every time I squeeze just one more thing into a day that's already spilling over. Every time I tell myself that rest is for later, after I finish this email, after I fix this system for a client, after I prove again that I'm capable. My instinct is to do. And if you're a creative or ADHD entrepreneur, you probably know that instinct too. It's your reflex to measure your value in completed tasks, checkboxes, posted content, or progress made. Doing feels like worthiness in motion. It's the place that our brains feel the safest because doing gives us evidence. But underneath that evidence-driven productivity is something tender and complicated. It's your nervous system trying to earn safety through action. When you live with a creative brain, action becomes your comfort zone. Even when it's exhausting, especially when it's exhausting. You swing between hyperfocus and depletion, achievement and guilt. One minute you're unstoppable, the next you're apologizing to yourself for not keeping up with the very pace that you set. You wear busy like armor because if you're productive, you are safe from judgment. You're proving your value, not only to the world, but to the doubting parts of yourself. And when you do slow down, when you rest, your brain gets loud. You haven't done enough today. You could have gotten further. You are wasting time. That is not a moral failure. It's a neural pattern. ADHD brains are wired for stimulation and feedback. When your dopamine runs low and the brain searches for something, anything that restores sense of momentum, doing becomes the easiest fix. But your brain forgets. Self-worth isn't something you earn through output, it's something your body learns through safety. When you think your abilities, values, or sense of enoughness, your medial prefrontal cortex lights up. It's the region responsible for self-knowledge and self-evaluation. That part of your brain is constantly scanning. Am I doing okay? Am I safe in this group? Am I contributing enough? Then there's your ventral striatum, part of the brain's reward system. When you hit publish, finish a task, or receive praise, the striatum releases dopamine, that feel-good neurotransmitter that reinforces behavior. For ADHD entrepreneurs, that dopamine hit is gold. It's the brain version of applause. It says, yes, keep going. You're valuable when you achieve. But when the hit doesn't come, the post doesn't perform, the project feels stalled, and your brain is foggy or unmotivated, the opposite circuitry is activated. The anterior cingulate cortex and amygdala, both involved in error detection or threat response, begin to interpret that gap as danger. But wait, there's more. Your default mode network, the brain's storytelling system, steps in to explain the feeling. It searches your internal library of memories for evidence. Why do I feel so bad? Because you're behind, because you're lazy, because you are not enough. The brain needs a narrative, and in the absence of self-compassion, it writes one rooted in shame. Self-worth doesn't just live in your thoughts, it's a full body experience. Your brain and body are in constant communication through the vagus nerve, a superhighway that connects your emotional brain to your heart, lungs, and gut. When you perceive failure or rejection, your vagus tone drops, activating your sympathetic nervous system. That's the fight, flight, freeze pattern that so many creative ADHD entrepreneurs know intimately. Your shoulders tense, your breath shortens, you scroll, you clean, you overwork, you disappear into spreadsheets, anything to avoid the discomfort of feeling unworthy. The irony, the very effort to escape that feeling deepens it. Your body starts to believe that worthiness lives on the other side of doing. But wait, here comes the neuroscience and neuroplasticity to the rescue. You can rewire this loop. Your brain's ability to form new connections can teach your system that safety, not striving, is the foundation of worth. Self-worth arises from both rational and emotional processing. Rational self-worth lives in your prefrontal cortex. It's logical, evidence-based, and tied to your conscious self-assessment. I'm good at what I do. I've built something meaningful. Emotional self-worth lives in deeper, older parts of the brain. It's shaped by early experiences, such as how safe it felt to make mistakes, how love was given or withheld, and how success and failure were modeled. When your logical mind says, I know I'm doing fine, but your emotional brain whispers, you're still not enough, those two layers are out of sync. Let's name the terrain. Self-worth often travels with a few familiar companions. Number one, anxiety, the brain's anticipation of failure before it happens. Number two, shame, the body's response to perceived inadequacy. Number three, rejection sensitivity, that intense sting of not being chosen or acknowledged. And number four, grief, the quiet ache for the self you think you should have become by now. But when rewiring begins, new emotions emerge too. Number one, contentment, the calm that comes when you stop performing for proof. Number two, joy, spontaneous, unearned, and often quiet. Number three, self-compassion, the neural antidote to shame. These emotions aren't signs that you fixed yourself. They're signals that your brain is learning safety in your own presence. ADHD brains are built for possibility. We see patterns, connections, and creative leaps that others miss. But that same openness also means we feel everything: success, failure, approval, rejection more intensely. You've likely built an entire career around adapting, around compensating for inconsistency with brilliance, around chasing momentum so you never have to face the quiet question underneath: when will I feel like I've done enough? That's why you find yourself subconsciously listing your resume in conversations and trying to earn belonging through credentials, or defending your busy schedule like it's proof of worth, or feeling guilt when you rest because rest feels like disappearing. It's not ego, it's neural conditioning. The ADHD brain's reward system runs on anticipation and novelty. We crave the spark of progress because it tells your system, we matter, we're moving. When that spark dims, it can feel like a small identity crisis. Your instinct to do isn't wrong, it just needs direction. When you redirect that instinct toward actions aligned with self-trust, your doing becomes an act of integrity, not insecurity. Here's how to begin the neural retraining process to rewire your brain body pattern of doing equals worth. Number one, pause before you prove. The next time you catch yourself reaching for your phone or laptop to do something that isn't urgent, pause, ask, what am I trying to prove right now? That single moment of awareness pulls you from autopilot to observation, shifting your brain activity from the limbic system, emotion, to the prefrontal cortex, reason and logic. Number two, anchor in the body. Take a slow, extended exhale. Notice your heart rate slowing. Feel your feet. These sensory cues tell your nervous system, I'm safe in stillness. Over time, this teaches your brain that rest isn't just absence, but rather integration. Number three, separate fact from story. Write down two columns, facts and stories. Number one, fact. Only 10 people liked my post. Number two, story. No one cares about my work. Number three, then write a new story grounded in reality. 10 people connected with what I shared. That is 10 real humans. Each rewrite weakens the old neural pathway of shame and strengthens the new one of grounded self-assessment. Number four, name and nurture the need. Underneath every productivity spiral is a need: connection, reassurance, rest, and play. Instead of suppressing it, say it aloud. I need a break, or I need to feel seen. The act of naming it activates the brain's language centers, reducing emotional intensity and inviting compassion. And number five, create micro evidence of enoughness. Your brain learns through repetition. Each time you complete a small aligned action, such as writing one paragraph, following through on a boundary, or choosing to rest, you're wiring in a new prediction. I am safe, even when I'm not hustling. These micro moments accumulate. They build a neural equivalent of muscle memory for self-worth. The brain craves metrics because numbers feel safe, but enough is not a number. It's a nervous system state. You'll know you're entering it when you no longer need the world to mirror your worth back to you. When you can look at your unfinished to-do list and feel grounded instead of guilty. When you can rest without justification. When your self-worth is steady, even on the days when your dopamine isn't. That's not complacency. That's the coherence of your brain, body, and values, finally in alignment. The neuroscience of self-worth isn't about thinking more positively. It's about feeling safer in your own skin. That medial prefrontal cortex gives you the capacity to observe yourself with honesty. The ventral striatum reminds you that joy and reward aren't external and can be generated internally. The default mode network can be trained to tell truer stories. The vagus nerve can learn calm through breath and presence. And that neuroplasticity, the gift of the brain, means it's never too late to rewire. Your brain doesn't care how old you are, how many times you've burned out, or how loud the old narrative has been. What it cares about is what you repeat with emotion. So repeat this gently. I am not my output. I am my awareness. I can rest without regret. My worth is not pending, it's present. Awareness changes the chemistry of your brain. Every time you notice that old pull to check off one more thing and instead pause, even for a single breath, you're teaching your nervous system a new rule. I can be safe even when I'm still. That's what integration looks like, not the absence of doing, but the ability to choose consciously. When you pause between tasks and feel the quiet, that's not lost time, it's rewiring time. When you feel the urge to prove, take one breath instead. That's your prefrontal cortex reclaiming control from old prediction loops. When you speak kindly to yourself after a stumble, you're not being soft. You're strengthening neural pathways of compassion and safety. This is the real work of self-worth, returning to your own enoughness without needing to earn it. So this week, when your brain whispers, you should be doing more, try answering back and say, I already am. I'm doing the work of remembering. I'd love to hear what remembering looks like for you. When you pause the proving, what comes up in the quiet? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Here's a few questions for you this week. If your body could speak before your brain jumps to fix or prove, what would it ask you for? What micro evidence of enoughness already exists in your day that you tend to overlook? When your brain whispers, you should be doing more, what truth could you be whispering back? Reply and share with me. If this week stirred something in you or brought you awareness that worth has been tangled up in your to-do list, let's get it out of your head and onto paper. Doing a MindSweep mapping session can unpack what's driving your brain's need to prove and create a map that brings focus back to what truly matters. Book your session today and give your brain the gift of space. Your brain, your business, mapped. You can learn more about me and our MindSweep mapping method at chickbookcreative.com.